Sorry about that. I had a mishap with the mic. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is ChukwumaijemNwosu, and today's topic for this stream is what separates boys from men. It's kind of a tricky situation in society today, getting a clear-cut line of what separates boys from men. But today we're going to try to tackle it as best as we can. When it comes to the relationship between going from a boy to a man, there's no distinctive line. Some of the things we're going to go over today take some time to acquire, take some time for you to come into, and it varies from person to person based on other factors that come into play, such as uh, the type of family you're born into, the financial background of the family you're born into, the part of the world you were born in, you were born into, um, the education level of your parents, and so on and so forth. Even things like being born into a single parent household, whether uh, a man or just being raised by a single mother. All these things play a role into distinguishing between boys and men. Okay, let's start. So the first thing that distinguishes a boy from a man is that a man has purpose. When you see most men moving through the world, they focus on a specific target. They have a target, they have a destination point they're trying to get to. And there's no if, ands, and buts about it. They know exactly where they're going, they're prepared for it, they're ready to accept every responsibility, and they're accountable for everything that goes down on their path towards that purpose. Then when you look at the boy is just still finding his way. He's still moving through the world, trying to figure stuff out, not very lighthearted, not taking anything serious, still haven't nailed down what his purpose is, doesn't have a 1 year, 2 year, 6 month, 5 year plan, doesn't have a 10 year plan, doesn't really have a purpose, doesn't have things set on stone. And that's one of the areas where the distinction comes between a boy and a man. A man is purposeful with his action, while a boy is still finding a reason why he's in existence. The second thing is appearance. Men take the appearance very seriously. I tell some of my guys that are part of my group called Men in Training, I advise them about looking good. Men understand that they dress for outcomes. The way you dress is is directly related to how people are going to treat you. So you dress and you show the world that you don't care about how you look, and the world will respond and tell you that they don't care about you, right? So men understand the power of an appearance, and they make sure that they appear looking good so that they can get what it is they want out of this universe. On the other hand, boys have poor appearances. For example, tell me a president that you've seen anywhere in the world that sags his pants. Tell me a president of any country that you've seen that wears hoodies. Tell me the president of any country that you see that wears gym shoes to work when he's handling serious business on the world stage. Tell me a president that you see that is walking around with a name brand clothing plastered across his chest when they're handling serious business. You see, men understand these things, that they have to look purposeful, they have to dress with intentions. And because of that, the appearance matters. They don't just dress however they want, they dress for outcomes. Boys dress because it doesn't matter. He puts on whatever he wants as long as he has clothes on his body. He does whatever he wants. He turns his hat to the side, to the wherever he like. There's no intention with that specific action when it comes to appearance. He could appear however he wants, and it doesn't matter. For example, you go to the airport. It's one of the places you can see the clearest distinction between boys and men. When you go to the airport, you see those men with their suits, three-piece suits, some of them with a two-piece suit, with his suitcase all put together. You could tell that this guy thought out everything about his trip. He has this laptop bag on top of his suitcase, and he's striding right along the airport hallways, and he's dressed in his suit. He's looking dapper. He has his shoe well polished, or if his shoe is not looking well polished, he stops by the polishing station to have a shoe guy shine his shoe. These are men. They know that appearance matters. You don't know where you're going to run into that person that is going to make you or break you. So you want to always be ready for that opportunity. Because when men get to where they're going, boys say they're lucky. But when men get to where they're going to in life, other men tell them that they work hard for it and they deserve it. So boys, they don't care about their appearance. It doesn't matter to them. They wear whatever they want. They dress like thugs. They dress bad. They don't dress for outcomes. They dress in such a way that society looks down on them. They're not respected. But men dress for outcomes, and respect is one of those outcomes. So the next thing is knowledge. You see, this is where the gap starts to widen. Men value knowledge more than money. Men value knowledge more than anything because men understand that knowledge is power. So they pay, they work hard, they burn the midnight oil to get knowledge. There was a statistic that came out. It says that most rich men read 60 plus books a year. And on average, most people read about 1.5 book a year, the average person. So you see, 60, 1.5, that is a huge gap. And there's no amount of miscellaneous activity that can make up for that. It has to be intentional. You have to be purposeful. It has to be the goal to be able to catch up. So when you see rich people, they're not rich by accident. They're not knowledgeable by accident. They're knowledgeable because they worked hard for it. They built their network. They went around places that ensured that they would get the proper knowledge to move through life. A boy, he stops learning once he puts the pencil down or the pen down. Once school is over, he believes that there's no need to learn anymore. That is a boy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go a step further to identify something that is very, very peculiar with being a boy. A boy cannot wait to stop learning, while a man understands that learning is a lifelong activity. It's that crucial that he understands that he has to keep learning, you know? Because if you don't keep learning, it doesn't matter. You will become the same person. You get stuck in a very stagnated place. You have no reason for more. You're stuck in one place. That's why you see a lot of rich people, their friends keep changing. Their circle keeps changing. When they were at $10,000, they had a different circle. When they got to $50,000, circle changed. They got to 100,000, the circle changed again. They got to $1 million, the circle changed. They got to $10 million, the circle keeps changing. And what poor people or a boy would say is that, hey, you changed. No, the man didn't change. He just got better. He didn't do all those learning, all those purposeful and intentional moves. He didn't put on his best appearance to stay the same person. See, a man understands that he needs knowledge, but a boy stops learning and he gets stuck in the same place. I'm sure, for example, most of you have seen all these grown ass men or grown men at the age of 50, age of 60, they still wear like do rag outside in public with baseball hat turned backwards with their pants sagging and just looking like a Joe Bird. That's a boy. Yes, he's 60. He's still a boy because men accept responsibility and they do what they can to be the most and the best in this life. So we'll move on to the next one. That leads us into respect. Men don't want nothing else. Men just want respect. Respect is the fuel that runs a man. Show me a rich man that is powerful or a powerful man that doesn't pride on his respect, his reputation. That is non existent. Respect is the fuel. that runs powerful men. Men want respect, and that sums it up. On the other hand, a boy wants to be loved. He values love more than respect. Whenever you see him moving through society, a boy is always talking about love. He places it on a pedestal. He always wants to be feel he always wants to feel loved. A man, on the other hand, understands that his actions is not always going to be popular. A man understands that in some cases, his actions are going to be very, very not popular. They're going to be something that people are going to frown upon. But a boy doesn't care about respect. The boy wants to be loved, and he would do anything to get love. He would even disrespect himself. He would put himself in a position where he's subjugated to lesser treatment just to get love out of people. And that is a clear distinction between a boy and a man. On the other hand, men have plans. When you look at men, for example, the men that build the cars you drive, the men that build the televisions you watch, the men that build the iPhone, the men that build the chair I'm sitting on, men like myself that put together my transportation company that services people and delivers their car from state to state, men like myself that provides towing services, brokerage services to people from city to city, parts of this, from state to state, from different point A to point B, men like myself that provides cars for people to rent, men like myself that provide cars for people to buy. You see, we plan ahead. We don't just make boneheaded moves. We put a plan in place, structure our finances accordingly, and pursue that plan. It could be a 2 week plan, it could be a 1 month plan, it could be a 6 month, 10 year, 100 year plan. Even I heard, men that run the United States government have things as crazy as 50-year plans. They know what they're going to do in 50 years. They have strategies in place. You see, men don't just operate out of sheer willingness or just this want to. No, men don't want to. Men operate out of need because they need to keep existing on this planet. And because of that need for existence, men put plans in place to fortify their presence on this planet. On the other hand, a boy has no plan. A boy just roams through society and just thinks that life is happening to him. He's just doing whatever, whenever. He goes to bed when he wants. He wakes up when he wants. He goes to work when he wants. He gets fired. He finds another job when he wants. He takes a shower when he wants. You know, he's not intentional. He's not purposeful. He brushes his teeth when he wants. So these are some of the distinctions between a man and a boy. A man has a plan that sets the pace, that sets the standard for his lifestyle in years to come. A boy is not a visionary. He doesn't have a plan. And because of that, when he moves through society, you could see him falling so many times and getting back up. And don't get me wrong, eventually, a lot of boys become men. But until then, these are the clear distinctions between both. On the other hand, furthermore, a man is more than his money. With men, it's not about money all the time. Money is very important, though I will not take away anything from money, credit, equity, or anything from the financial aspect of human existence. But a man is way more than his money because first of all, men made money. Men made the credit system. Men came up with the idea of equity. Men came up with all this stuff. So if a man made all this stuff, that means theoretically he's more than what he made, right? So because of that, a man has more substance to him than the money in his pocket. That's why you see a lot of people, they try to trick men with money, but they fail because these men are not just walking wallets. They are more than a wallet. They are smart, they're confident, they're intelligent, they're assertive, they're competitive, they're intriguing, they're aggressive, they're bold, they're generous, they're ambitious. There's so much to a man that meets the eye. But when he meets your eye, his appearance will let you know that he's a man. And because of that, one of the distinctions between a man and a boy is that a man is more than his money, while a boy lacks substance. A boy believes that money is all he needs. Like you see one of those drug dealers that basically got stuck in a stage in life where they still dress like little kids. And because he has money and because he can afford, he sold drugs or he got his money through some illegal activity. And now he thinks he's a boy, he's a man. He thinks because he can afford some of the things that men buy to facilitate their life, to make more money, to put themselves in better positions, he thinks now he's equal to a man. No, there's no equality between a boy and a man. A man is here, a boy is right here. The boy has to work up hard, smart to get to the level of a man. So just because you can buy a Rolls Royce, just because you can buy the things that men own, does not make you a man. There's more to a man than just the things that a male could buy. A man is a mindset. A man is basically your experience. A man is a lot of things. A man is the activity, the things you've done in life, the things you've participated in. So because of that, a man is more than his money, while a boy has no substance. He just believes that he has money and that's it. And because of that, he can move through the world however he likes. He can dress poorly. He can do whatever. As long as he has money, he believes he's a man. False. That's a boy. That takes us to the next point. A man understands the power of a woman. How many times have you seen a boy look down on women? This happens so much in society, especially lately. That is not the virtue of a real man or a man. There's not no such thing as real men and fake men. It's just men and boys. So a man understands the power of a woman, and you know what a man does when he sees a woman? A woman he can use. He harnesses the power of that woman and uses that power to retire that woman, to put her in a position where she lacks for nothing, put her in a position where she's resource rich, where she's taken care of, where she's good for life. On the other hand, a boy just uses a woman for a productive purpose. A boy just sees a woman as something to be used for reproduction, something to be had. But a man sees a woman as something of great potential, something of a person of great power if harnessed properly. That is the difference between a boy and a man. A man understands the power and the virtue of a woman. A boy does not. And all he wants is just to have her, and not with good intentions. A man makes people's lives better. What do I mean by that? When you see the average man, he works hard and puts himself in a position of power. This could take him a year, 5 years, 10 years. Seen so many great men through history worked so hard to put themselves in a position of power. And at the end of the day, they became pillars of society by doing what? Providing jobs, providing people with a way to make income so that they could go and take care of their families, hire people, contract people to do jobs. Men go on to become doctors. They discipline themselves to do what it takes studying hard enough to get into the medical school, to get into pharmacy school, and go on to become pillars of society to help the systems that has been put in place by men before them to make people's lives better through medicine, through pharmacy, through architecture, through logistics, as pilots flying airplanes, as the guys that operate the trains that haul the freight in the rail lines. So men make people's lives better in this way. They do it so that your life is easier. They go on to open grocery stores so you can shop, so you don't have to go start your own farm or go far away to get food. Men do make these things possible. A boy is selfish. A boy is selfish. A boy is selfish because he does not have the best interest of anybody else in mind except his. He does not think about how he could help society. He always thinks about how society could help him. A man, on the other hand, is selfless. He finds ways to make the lives of the people around him better. If he's married, he makes the life of his family paradise on earth. These are the foundations that men are built on. On to the next point, men are reliable. Like I stated before this, you cannot build a grocery store to make people's lives easy without being a reliable person. You cannot make $1 billion without being a reliable person. You cannot keep a family together without being a reliable person. You cannot run a business into the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions and tens of millions without being a reliable person. Reliable men are the beacon of society. They provide, protect, and keep society in order. On the other hand, a boy is not reliable. A boy is not a beacon of society. A boy is just the byproduct of the dynamic between a man and a woman. He has no plans, so how can he be reliable? For you to be reliable, you have to have a plan. And that's where the boy fails. Until he becomes a man, he will never be reliable. The next point I have on this is that what separates boys from men is that a man is remembered on merit. A man is not remembered just because he wants to be remembered, you know? You know how some people are like, when I die, they're going to remember me. No, 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 no. A man is remembered based on what he accomplished on this planet. A man seeks to accomplish things. Why do you think there's so many libraries named after people, after men? Songs, cars, businesses, products. These are merits of men. They come into this planet, they seek to conquer, they do things to put their legacy in place to make sure that anybody that comes after them knows, feels, and understands they were once here. On the other hand, the boy is forgotten. Yes, the boy is forgotten. He's never remembered because he never accomplished anything. He didn't leave a legacy. He doesn't have any merits. He didn't accomplish anything. He didn't make people's lives better. He didn't create a product. He didn't offer a service. There's nothing for people to go on as a measure of by which he's supposed to be remembered. There's nothing to measure a boy societally based on merit. He has no merit. And because of that, when he's not around, he's not remembered. The last point I have on this is that a man has children as the most valuable legacy that he will leave behind on this planet called Earth. As a matter of fact, I would argue that children are the most valuable legacy that a man can leave in the entire universe. Because if God made man in his own image, that makes us God on this earth. And after all said and done, if you have children, you're passing on the legacy of manhood from yourself to your children. And I would assume that they're properly guided, they're properly loved, they are birthed with a plan. There was a plan in place before they came into the world. And because of that, proper guidance is afforded to a man's child towards the path where he could become a beacon of society. On the other hand, I'll say this to you. I want to come close to the camera. A boy has kids randomly. A boy has no guidance. His children has no guidance. He has no plan before he has a child. And that's the sad thing. In most cases, when a boy has a child, his children go on to become societal deviants. And when I say deviants, I mean people that are not good for society. The problem that society ends up having, they become problematic for every other person trying to go about their daily life and business. They make life for you and I difficult just because one boy did not plan well for their introduction, for their arrival on planet Earth. One of the greatest gifts a man could give his son is to make sure that he picks the mother very carefully, arranges for the circumstances by which the child comes into this planet, make sure it's not random, that it's guidance in place, and that he goes far and beyond to make sure that at the end of the day, that child does not become a deviant in society, that he becomes a productive member of society that would go on to live a legacy that is long lasting for the next generation. Thank you so much, guys, for being patient and hanging out with me for another episode of this show. This is Business Class. And in business class here, we're going to talk about things that make men better, things that turn boys to men, and come with an open mind so that we could build a society filled with men that good women could pick from. If you have any comments, leave a comment in the comment section and message me on Instagram if you have any questions. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.